Welcome everybody back to Decentralized Discussion, episode 2 with my boy John. We're back and ready to have a conversation with everybody. And yeah, let's get this started. John, we've had our first week of Decentralized Discussions already. We're on week 2, going to be up Sunday. How are we feeling about it? How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Honestly, pretty crazy. I know when I got your text this morning, I was like, when you told me about the podcast, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's in my head, I'm thinking like it's Friday, right? I thought we were on Tuesday until I looked at my phone and I realized it was Friday. So you kind of caught me off guard. I didn't know today was Friday, so happy Friday to everybody. You guys are probably not watching this on the Friday, but today is Friday, surprisingly, from what I just found out
Breaking
today.
the fourth wall.
Yeah, so I didn't know today was Friday. Kind of caught me off guard when he told me, hey, are you ready for the podcast? I'm like, it's not even Friday yet, you know? So the week went by really quick from the last podcast we did. Really the goal is to go ahead and be consistent, really start pushing what we got going on here. I think we've always had something massive. I think there were just a couple areas that we both personally had to work on in order to advance and become better people. And I think this bull runs, it's going to happen. I think this time we're really going to go ahead and take off and really do things the way we should have since the beginning. But it's all about, learning from mistakes and then just moving forward. So really excited to go ahead and not only have what we got going on together again, but most importantly have our friendship reunited again. Because it's been an on and off thing. We've both been busy with what we were doing once and life situations in Web 2, unfortunately. We're both working on being full-time Web 3, and that really got in the way with Web 2 stuff. But I think this time we're really going to go ahead and really take it to the next level. Yeah, so I'm excited to be here just in general.
I agree, dude. I think this podcast, as it forms, as we create new ideas, is just gonna kind of blow away the Web3 community. Just because I think we both have a lot of knowledge on just everything that's happened, and we're kind of like veterans of the space now. We've seen it all. We've been through pretty much everything in the last couple years. Obviously, there are people who have been in it longer, but we all get in when we get in. But at this point, I would consider us veterans and pretty knowledgeable on the space.
100%.
And so, pretty much we want this to be a news source and education source, somewhere you can come to kind of get your not daily, but weekly recap of just what's going on.
Daily is the goal. We're going to do weekly podcasts.
Yeah, weekly podcasts, daily videos.
We're going to go ahead and do videos. We'll probably, hire someone, or I don't know how we're going to figure that thing out. But, the first step that we took was doing the podcast. And that was already a lot of energy and a lot of time that we're putting into, so that's really
especially meeting in person to do it.
Yeah, now we're meeting in person, which is a whole different level. We live close, but we don't live close. So yeah. It's honestly it is a hassle, and it is a huge commitment of both sides of being able to work around each other's schedule. But I think it's going to pay off eventually.
Oh yeah, and I mean the only reason I wanted this to be in real life is just because we can kind of start getting into that cycle of just doing stuff together, and then we're doing, like I always say, we're doing stuff together but separate.
Yeah.
We're doing our own thing together, and that's kind of what Lux Fiat is going to be a product of now. It's kind of just going to be both of our creations put together as one, and that's
with separate
be
opinions still. Yeah, with separate opinions, but still with our own separate channels. So we're going to be collaborating together on regularly. But we're both going to have our own freedom of what we want to go ahead and post and really talk about. And I think that's the most important when it comes to, a business decision, because, yeah, it's pretty cool with what we're doing, but at the end of the day, it's a business decision, we are doing it for fun and obviously to go ahead and grow. But at the end of the day, our goal is to go ahead and have some revenue coming in to obviously, hire more people, have more people in the team. And that's obviously the goal overall. So I would say it's a really huge commitment on both ends.
Oh yeah, Lux Fiat's going to be something much bigger in the next 5 to 10 years ish. If everything goes right, and I think we have the ability to make it so. I think it'll happen. But give us 5 years and we'll be running Web3. I swear to God,
Yep.
dude. I
I
swear.
already see it, man. I already see it.
But dude, like we were just talking before we started this podcast about the U.S. starting to crack down on regulation, and it's a fairly new article. We didn't really read it, but we did want to kind of break into the topic of regulation because, dude, like regulation is both a good and a bad thing, right? Like depends on who's overseeing it and what it brings, but I think the people we have in office right now personally don't have the right knowledge on the space to be able to make these decisions for the people who are in that space. I don't know if you had any more deeper thoughts on that, but I mean, I think regulation is a good thing, bad thing. I think it'll help scams a little bit, not too much, but a little regulation is better than nothing. I think just being able to hold them accountable, and it'll be kind of a federal crime now, even though it already is, but more so. And then, just getting it out to the masses, and more people will feel safer with crypto if it's endorsed, quote unquote, by the government, hence regulation. But what were your thoughts?
Oh, man. It's a really interesting topic. I could go back and forth for hours, literally, and I could point out reasons why regulation is good and why regulations would be bad. But one thing I could go ahead and start off with is that regulation is important in our space in order to get more mass adoption. So we need regulation in order for people to feel comfortable, unfortunately, to go ahead and decide, you know what, maybe it is worth dabbling into this Pepe coin or NFT that makes no sense but is making money, right? I think that's one of the most important factors when it comes to regulation is getting more mass adoption, getting more people in. It's kind of crazy, really believe, if you really go ahead and sit back and actually think about it, the crypto space has not even been touched whatsoever. Like right now, what the crypto space has been doing, it's nothing compared to what it has the capacity of doing. And we could actually see what's going on with the regular financial market. So the regular financial market, it's an indicator of what we want crypto to eventually become in order to go ahead and have that massive success and wave of new products and services to go ahead and be offered. I think, in my opinion, Web3 is one of those spaces where you're going to be investing in a lot of projects that might make it or break it, but about like 99% of the projects are going to fail. Regardless of how wonderful the product sounds in the service, a lot of these projects are going to fail, and that's the risk that we're taking on, right? If a lot of people knew that, investing in Apple was going to become Apple, I best believe a lot of people would do it. But I remember back in the day, Apple was trading for pennies, and, they were trying to sell their stock. I believe like through newspaper, they were doing all this advertising, like buy Apple for a couple cents, and a lot of people missed out, So I would say look at it more of a long term. I think the wrong mentality that we have in this space is the get rich quick scheme, which there is going to be a lot of people that get successful off trading NFTs or memes, or you're going to become a millionaire overnight. But to break it, a lot of people, it's really not going to be the reality. A lot of people are not going to become millionaires overnight. You will become a millionaire in a couple years. I do see that, and probably a couple million, 50, 20, 30, 40 million if you invest in the right assets. But I don't think a lot of people are going to go ahead and become millionaires overnight, as they make it seem. It's like almost hitting the lottery. You're going to hit it, but your chances are kind of slim for you to hit it on just one project. It's going to take a lot of failures in order for you to even hit that $1 million coin.
And even then, it's kind of, you need more like, quote unquote, insider info.
Yeah, 100%.
You need to know about it before it drops.
Yeah, 100%. And the most important thing, you need capital. If you don't have money coming in to invest in these projects, you're not going to become a millionaire investing $100. Like, I'm sorry to break it to a lot of people, but it doesn't take $100 to go ahead and run a successful business.
Unless you're Sheeb, and you make $5 billion off of like $5K, which is equivalent.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, we kind of go back to the lottery, like,
yeah,
sense,
no,
you know what I mean?
It's
like I could make a lot of money leverage trading 100x with $40, and I could make a couple $100, but I could also lose that money right away. But it's like a high risk, high reward.
Right.
How many projects have we gone into that gone to zero or dumped, but had like a good community or a good vision, but the bear market kills everything.
Bro,
Literally.
that's like all of NFTs right now.
Exactly.
That's
I got into
literally
so
all
many
of
projects that
NFTs.
I've made a lot of money, and I've also lost a lot of money. And I could probably say that I've lost more money than I made more money,
Yeah.
realistically, because it takes more L's in order to get that huge win. So, and I think the problem is a lot of people get discouraged, but I'm getting kind of off topic, and we're talking about regulation. So, regulation is good. We need it for mass adoption. In my opinion, regulation is bad because now we're getting our rights taken away, if you want to say. For me, what got me interested into blockchain and crypto in itself was the fact that it was decentralized. You didn't have to go ahead and worry about one big entity controlling it all, which I really doubt that's the case now. But I'm sure there's some control in the back end. But I just like the fact that we do have somewhat of a freedom as they make it seem. They might just make it seem like we do have freedom when we really don't. But even that picture that they give us makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. So
Right.
the somewhat, freedom that we have in DeFi makes me feel more comfortable in the sense that you're not relying on an actual bank, your own central bank. I think that's the most important factor, is that it's your money if you're not on an exchange. I think that's my understanding of what I enjoy about crypto itself and DeFi. But I think regulation is going to take a lot of that. We're not going to be able to go ahead and do a lot of those activities without having some sort of censorship. And we've been seeing it. Uniswap, what is it? Uniswap, 1inch, all these decentralized exchanges are now require you to be in a country that is not regulated. And in order for a lot of people to overcome that, move countries maybe. I don't know what to suggest. There's tools out
A
there.
VPN.
Yeah, VPNs could be it. I don't suggest anybody to use it.
Yeah.
It's all your, go ahead and consult with the right person when it comes to VPNs. VPNs on their own are really helpful tools, but we definitely do not want to be breaking regulation in that sense when it comes to VPNs as well. So it's an area where you have to be very cautious.
Well, the reason I brought it up was because a lot of people will do it. A lot of people have done it with casino sites, with things like that. That's
the
still
difference
breaking
though, and this is where the difference comes in, right? When it comes to regulation, the people that are gonna get more hit, they're gonna be the most hit. Sorry, it's gonna be the influencers, us making this kind of content.
Yeah,
we're gonna be very limited to what we can and we cannot say.
That's why I've kind of refrained from, like, promoting, I guess, projects, like making project detailed breakdowns, just because, like, at the end of the day, I am technically promoting that project, and if something happens, I did promote it. I wasn't paid for it, and it was just out of my own thing. I just wanted to talk about them for content. But I mean, anything like that could be deemed as like, oh, you're promoting a financial asset.
Yeah, but if you look at it, and this is what pisses me off about regulation. This is where I'm gonna get to my pisses, if that's even a thing, man. What I don't like about this regulation things is that there's a lot of real stocks in the stock market that are doing something very similar, if not the same exact thing, onto the crypto space, and are dumping on everybody. Jim Cramer's, for an example. Everything this guy says, you have to do the opposite. What's going on with him? Why is there any regulation on Jim Cramer? He promoted SVB Bank literally as a crash. Like, literally weeks before he talked about SVB Bank being a buy, fucking it crashed.
Well, as it was crashing too, he was like, I still think it's a good buy.
Yeah,
I still think
it had
good.
It had little pumps, but it went literally down to zero, and it got affected by a lot of companies. So if Jim Cramer could do it, why can't Bob that promotes shitcoins does it? I think it all comes with your own risk. Drugs are bad for you to do, but like it's all up to you whether you want to do it or not. No one's forcing you to smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol. It's all for you, up to you to go ahead and decide to do.
Yeah. No.
So that's what I look at it that same kind of way. It's like, why can't we do the same kind of way with alcohol and, weed and cigarettes? Like, why can't we give the decision to people to go ahead and do it?
Right.
Instead of saying this is the way it has to be done because we say so.
I think it depends on how you're saying it, right? So, like, Jim Cramer is not very good at it. He's not very good at explaining it, but I think it's when we're like, oh, I think this might be a good buy, or da da da, or I might sell this at here and da da. When we're offering that kind of comment, I think that's where it starts to get like
I guess it makes sense. But you know what's the biggest problem?
What?
Common sense. Common sense is not so common nowadays. And it happens to the best of us, you know? I've done mistakes. I'm not saying I'm perfect. You know, I've done some,
I just sent like $100 of Matic to an ETH wallet. And I've never done that in my whole time of crypto.
Yeah. We've all done a lot
I
of
lost
mistakes.
that. I lost it because I sent it to the wrong money.
I lost a lot of wallets with money in it and NFTs, and you should have your private key locked up too. You know what I mean? It's like shit like that. But like in this space, we just live in a world where people get heavily influenced, and I think that there's nothing wrong with regulation. I do agree there. I think what messes it up for us more is that we have bad actors in the space, but every space has bad actors. We could talk about every industry, and I could point out a bad actor in that industry. I could pull out an article of what has gone through, but it just seems probably Web3 is probably just that hot topic that everybody wants to talk about, and I think it's really at the end of the day, it's just really for the buzz.
Yeah.
Web3 hasn't even been touched to where it hasn't even gone touched to the potential that it actually has to reach.
Well, Web3 and blockchain isn't even just crypto and NFTs. Like, exactly. It could be applied to anything.
It could be AI. That's a hot thing right now going on. You know, blockchain is very massive. A lot of people would just think it's meme coins and cryptocurrencies, but it's actually, just like Billy mentioned, it's like actually something a lot bigger than that. Yeah. And it's a technology behind it.
Exactly. The technology is really what we're driving for. So think of it as the stock market is a subsidiary of the U.S. economy, right? Think of blockchain technology as the main point, or think of crypto as a subsidiary of the blockchain technology. Blockchain technology isn't just crypto and NFTs and, you know, trading. Blockchain is a whole thing of coding and, you know, ownership and
ones and zeros.
All that. It's all a technology that can be applied to literally anything in the world. Anything. You know, you have Japan implementing blockchain technology into their stock market.
Yeah.
Like blockchain technology in the stock market. Like,
which is what we should
That's definitely what we should be doing.
Because, you know, maybe we'll be able to catch Nancy Pelosi actually doing whatever she does inside of trading, you know? So that's a very interesting topic there, but
it's
like, an interesting space we're in, man. Regulations is one of those that I'm with, but I'm not at the same time. And for me, it's just that fact that I feel like we're getting our rights taken away. It's like, why can't I decide whether I want to do it or not? Like, why do you have to tell me what I could and what I can't do?
Yeah, if
like, just let me do it.
If I get scammed, I get scammed.
I get scammed. You probably deserved it. I'm just kidding, people. No, but
I mean,
it's a learning experience. It's a learning experience.
Most cases they do.
Too. I've gotten scammed a lot of times.
I'm gonna be the asshole here, but most cases they do deserve it because there are points where it's like many signs point to rugs and scams and whatnot, but there was just something on Twitter where this Solana meme coin had everyone like pretty much give access up to their Twitter account.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And when they went live, I forgot what the name was.
I know what you're talking about.
Literally, it posted the same thing to all their Twitter accounts. I was too greedy and sold my Twitter account over for some whitelist of a meme coin just for a quick get rich quick scheme, whatever. You know.
That's pretty effed up though, if you kind of think about it.
No, honestly, I don't think so. I think it's a wake up call.
I mean, it's kind of dumb for people to do that, but like low key, like if I wasn't really thinking about it, like if I didn't sit down and actually analyze everything, I would have done the same thing out of like emotion without thinking. Because like we have to understand as human beings, sometimes we do stupid decisions without really thinking, because we don't sit down and say, okay, is this the right decision for me to go ahead and make this purchase, or should I go ahead and do this? We all do with emotion, like. And I'm a victim of it myself too. You know, yesterday I was trading. I made pretty good trades, and then I was chasing the trades, and I got liquidated and lost all my money. You know, and I did it off emotion, and I knew it, but it was just that thing in the back of my head where it was like that dopamine for me. I was like, yeah,
I could make more. I could make more,
and I was up a lot. I was up over 200%, leverage trading 100x on Mexi. So make sure to go ahead and sign up for Mexi Global. You can go ahead and trade meme coins.
Yes.
None of this is obviously financial advice, but you know,
There
it's
will be
really
a link in the
interesting. It's really
description.
fun. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, man, I forgot what you were saying, man. Something about some Twitter.
No, but
stuff.
they
I would have been a
posted-
victim of it myself.
They
man.
posted this tweet and it literally said like, how could you do this? Like you chased greed, you acted on emotion, like everything you're saying. And it's like in that case, like, dude, if you're trying to get a whitelist or something for some meme coin that you have no idea about that just popped up out of nowhere and it's asking you to connect your Twitter account, like I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I remember I did click on it. I was like, oh, I'll see what this does. And it said to connect my Twitter account. I was like, fuck no.
Yeah.
I was like, hell no.
Yeah.
Especially when it said can send tweets. I was like, why would I allow it to do that?
Yeah.
I don't
see, and right there, you can't sue them because they gave you a
Yeah.
warning of what they were going to be able to
Well,
do.
it connects to Twitter itself, which Twitter itself gives you the warning. It's like this account can do this to your account.
Yeah. So,
You know, it's like
so Twitter's not liable for it.
yeah, it's not Twitter's fault. It's only your fault. So it goes back to
Exactly.
regulation where it's like, I think people should really just be held accountable. One, for doing the scam because it is just shitty practice to begin with. And two, like people who are like, I need to be reimbursed for this and that, you know, those people are the ones that are like, bro, you kind of deserved it at that point.
Yeah. But let's be honest, man. With regulation, what are they going to prevent with the Twitter stuff, man? What
Well,
is there
with
for them
Twitter,
to prevent?
with Twitter, they can't really prevent
That's what I'm
anything. I'm just
saying.
talking about more just scams in itself.
Well, how are they going to prevent scams though? Like,
I mean, think of
give
regulation.
me an example. Like,
Think
how
of
would it
regulation.
how would it prevent a scam?
I think regulation is going to require a lot more KYC than what we can even fathom.
Right, but there's
So
also those...
Magic Eden might
True.
consider KYC, OpenSea, like even to sign up for platforms like a marketplace, you may have to KYC.
But look at it this way now. This is a mind-blowing factor. So fraud goes on every day all over the world with regulation in place, with KYC in place.
Yeah.
What difference is it going to do if they go ahead and implement that?
I think it'll scare a lot more people for a while. It'll come back, but I mean, it'll be probably another couple years. It'll hold it off for a couple years, I think, because people will be scared, and then they will kind of move away, see how it settles with people that are like, I'm just gonna still do it anyways. See if they get fucked, and if they don't get fucked, then
I think this is what my opinion in this is. This people who scam and do this are really smart people. They're
some of them are
smarter.
stupid.
They're smarter than average people. Yeah, they might be pretty stupid in like what they might do in order to go ahead and do whatever they're doing.
They're
But for the
computer
most
smart.
part, they're pretty smart people.
They're
Like they're
computer
smart
smart.
in some areas, but they're like not too.
Overall,
I wouldn't say knowledgeable in an area. They're just probably not too concerned, if that makes any sense.
yeah,
Because like their mindset is a lot different than a regular person that's not trying to do that. Like they know how to persuade people,
right,
which is really massive. They know the art of psychology.
yeah,
They know engineering.
exactly.
So like if they're able to do that online without
They're
in-person
computer smart.
interaction, one out of all those people can actually go ahead and do that in person at a bank with the lender the same way.
Sure.
So I think that when it comes to these kind of people, most of them are pretty smart people, and they're probably psychopaths to begin with, honestly. And that's why they're able to go ahead and pull off what they're doing. They might lack some areas because if you actually, I've done a lot of research on like the hacker's mindset and what hackers do, because I'm in the cybersecurity space, and that's what I'm going to be going to school with. I'm actually studying for that. So I've learned a lot about like what they do, and a lot of them are really smart. But where a lot of these hackers go wrong is they don't do something so simple as having a VPN on. They hack, they breach this whole entire thing, and they might use their own personal email on something, and they're messed up already.
Yeah.
And that's happened a lot with a lot of these dark web markets. Like a lot of them are able to do all of this, and the only reason why they get caught is for one mistake. Not having a VPN, using a personal device, or using a personal email. and now they're able to go ahead and find all your information. But if they would have done that from the beginning correctly, they probably would have never been able to be charged with anything, or would have never even been found at all if it wasn't for such not having their email, using their personal Bob Smith email on the dark web, buying shit.
Right.
And you're like, dude, like, how can you be so dumb? But these are the people that are doing these big data breaches. It takes some level of smartness to be able to do that.
Oh,
man.
of course.
It's not that easy. There's some things that are pretty easy. You can use tools but for the most part, for vulnerabilities like this, you have to come up with it yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to be a really smart person, but not because you're smart in an area doesn't mean you're smart overall.
Right.
You could be smart with computers, but you could be pretty stupid when it comes to how to make a sandwich.
Right.
And it sounds so like, dude, how is that even possible? But it's really possible, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what goes on in that space, in my opinion. I think that's the problem, that I don't think even with regulation we could prevent it.
True. Dude, some hackers literally set up like 20 phantom locations on top of like 50 VPNs.
The
and
smart
whatnot.
ones.
Like literally
Like the
masking
good ones.
locations on locations on locations, because when they trace it, they have to go through all these locations and they're like, none of these are real. He could have
Proxies, yep.
He could have fucking 50,000 of these and we'll just keep scrolling and not know which one it is.
Exactly.
We don't know where he is.
And most of them too is not just one person. It's like 30
It's a
different
group.
people.
Yeah, it's a whole group,
It's
like anonymous.
It's one person like telling them what to do, but it's like 30, 40 different hackers.
It's like anonymous. Like
Yeah, exactly.
Anonymous has been at it for years upon years, and everyone knows about Anonymous. Who Anonymous is? Most, I'd hope so if you're in the crypto space at least, and like they still do shit. They're threatening the government like all the time, and the government can't touch them. That's the craziest part, you know. Like
That's
they're that good. They're
Yeah.
that good that the government can't even touch them.
They're so good that the government tries hiring these hackers all the time. All the time. It's always the case. They get them for whatever they did, and they pretty much just have them on their side. And now they start getting access to the best hackers. They're like, you know what? We'll reduce your sentencing, and we'll just give you probation if you come
work for us.
Work with us.
Yeah. No, that does
and
happen.
that happens a lot.
Happens all the time.
Because I think we're in a space where technology is advancing so quick, and it's really hard for the average person to go ahead and take all of it. One, without having an actual team, and two, without actually just being on there, literally having no life and living.
You need the
in a
nerds,
computer.
right?
Yeah.
You need the nerds. The nerds are the ones that are putting every hour into, studying blockchain technology, coding, cybersecurity. I would consider us nerds because we're constantly on the computer fucking learning about the space, learning about updates of the space, regulations, how it's performing. We learn all this stuff that just pertains to this one subject. And it's like, holy shit, bro.
And that's the reason why you and I will think like, dude, that's common sense. Like, why didn't you think about it?
But it may not be common sense.
But it might not be common sense to the average person. And I've been speaking to a lot of average people, and you get to kind of realize like what the average person thinks.
Yeah.
And like you and I could carry a conversation where you try to speak to an average person that has no idea about technology, Web3, finance, or investing. You're like, dude, like, have you been living under a rock?
Dude.
But it's normal, man.
It's funny you say that because I think I've told you this before, but I want to tell the viewers, like, it's funny because I can't hold a conversation with literally anybody but my girlfriend and John. And even my girlfriend, sometimes I can't even hold a conversation. John's really the only one I can consistently have a full-on conversation for hours. Like, when we hang out, we talk.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. It's just talk.
This is literally us. Like, what we're doing in a podcast is what we do.
That's why we decided to do it, because it's like we talk so well together that it's like, bro, we might as well just do this and put it on the Lux Fiat channel. But it's like, it's funny because literally everybody else, I'm like, they say something, I'm like, I don't know what to say, so I just say like, yeah. Or okay, or yeah. I don't start a conversation with them because I just don't click with them. I'm like, I'm thinking of different things and my mind's in a different place sometimes. And so, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how you said that. And I'm
100%.
like, bro, I only really have a conversation with you.
And honestly, and even then, like, he's more knowledgeable in certain areas than I am. You know what I mean? So, like, even something that I might think that's common sense he might not know, and vice versa. Like he was like helping me set up like Acid Dash, and it sounds so like simple. And I've been in this space for a few years, and I could tell I could definitely say that I'm pretty tech savvy for sure. But even right now, when I was like setting up my wallet, I'm like, bro, like what do I do? You know what I mean? It's like if you're not,
you gotta set up your Phantom wallet.
Yeah, I have to set up my Phantom wallet again. Right now, I want to go ahead and jump into BRC20 tokens. I think that's going to be the next hot thing, in my opinion. It's going to be a really high risk, high reward. But I think at the end of the day, what I will be getting out of value personally is learning something new. I think the SATS domain is something very important. I think just knowing how to do... I don't even know how to buy a domain right now.
What?
I don't.
Bruh. Come on.
I'm pretty sure I just go to Unstoppable Domains and just connect my wallet.
Oh, like an actual, like crypto domain.
Yeah. But like .sats is low-key kind of confusing. It's like all about like scribing and unscribing and like how to check if it's available, and like you can have 30 of the same domains, but like only one of them's like the original one. Like it's so confusing, and I've been in the space, and even myself right now after learning, reading articles, watching videos, I'm probably at like 30% that I understood all of that. Because that's how like confusing it just makes no sense. It's a whole entire different blockchain, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's its own thing. Like meme coin trading, leverage trading. I'm learning leverage trading again. All from scratch.
Yeah.
I'm doing that again. I know how to trade meme coins, but it doesn't mean I'm an expert at it 100%.
Right.
I know how to do maybe research. I know how to look into the smart contract, what to look for. But it doesn't mean I know the best entry and exit points.
Right.
And now I'm learning tools where you could go ahead and use like a Telegram bot, where you have a bot that buys these meme coins for you at a certain price and executes buys and sells without having to go ahead and worry about like, oh, it shot up too quick and, I lost a lot of money.
We're gonna have to do a collab video talking about that.
I'm learning that right now. It's been on my
Let's learn
my
together.
list, man. Yeah, it's
Let's
been on my list.
learn together, and then we could do a collab video on
100%.
that, and then make a big
and
video.
it's like
of
it's pretty interesting because you could go ahead and buy and sell a token off from Telegram. There's this bot that you pay for. It's not on a monthly basis, but you pay for on fees. So like, let's say you want to go ahead and buy a Bob token, right? And you want to buy it at the certain percentage or limit. So you want to buy it at $1 instead of buying it at $2. You set it up, you connect your wallet, so you are authorizing them to go ahead and use your wallet pretty much.
Yeah.
And you're paying them a fee in return. It could be like $3, $5, $20. It's a percentage. I don't know exactly. And you could go ahead and put when to buy, sell, and when to take profit. So you just set up the bot, and you just forget it, and it does all the work for you.
Still
but
risky,
in return, you have to pay a fee, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But no service is going to be free.
Right. Especially
unless
if
you're the
it's
product. Unless you're the
Unless
product. And that's data. That's a whole entire different topic. But anyways, things like that. I'm learning how to use that tool. It's on my watch list right now that I'm going to go ahead and go to it. But I think the BRC20 tokens is something new. Something I want to go ahead and take advantage of. And it's definitely something that we'll be talking about
in the near
later
future.
Down the line, hopefully in a week.
In the near future,
I'm going to go ahead and really hit a few videos, a few more articles.
Send them to me
this weekend and like really start to go down on it, because from my understanding, it's not even in a $1 billion market cap yet, and that's massive. And if it's during a bull run, man, I think that's what's going to take Bitcoin to its new all-time high. It's the usage. You want more people using Bitcoin. Not that many people are buying crypto, bro, or Bitcoin. Solana,
Polygon,
is the
ETH.
most one,
Well, ETH maybe. They're buying ETH maybe.
Yeah, but it's pretty pricey too. But at the end of the day, I think Bitcoin, as shitty as it is, I think it is going to be the mother of all things, and it's going to be the one leading all the cryptocurrencies.
What's the one everyone already knows? Like,
not everybody. There's a lot of people.
No, I know, but like everyone who knows crypto has to know Bitcoin. That's kind of how it is. They don't. If you go up to someone at like a Web3 event and be like, "Oh, you know this coin Bitcoin," and they're like, "Oh no, I haven't heard of Bitcoin. I'm on Polygon."
100%.
They know Bitcoin.
But how many people own Bitcoin? I don't own any Bitcoin.
I don't.
I'm gonna get down to it maybe down the future, and I've seen other alternatives like Bitcoin Cash, which moves with Bitcoin, which I'll be making a video very, very soon on it.
Go check that out.
But Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's like, it's a good price if you could get it at a good price. And I wouldn't say it's that much of a risk. It could still tank 50 to 60 to even 80%. It'll still go up, but it's a lot safer than putting it into a new altcoin that promises the world. Those literally either go down to 80 and never recover, or just go to zero and die.
How I always say it is, look at the top 10 coins on like your exchange, Coinbase, crypto.com, whatever, if you're using an exchange. And those are probably your safest bets.
Yeah.
Those, like, if you just invest in those, and not financial advice, but if you just invest in those are pretty safe investments to hold over the years.
Yeah.
That would be like your ETFs that you hold that give you 10% a year,
Yeah.
you know? Like, that would be your safest bet. But if you want to, quote unquote, get rich quick, you know, find a quicker way to make money in this space, it's definitely NFTs, meme coins, altcoins, finding things that are a little more undiscovered, and things that a lot of other people wouldn't, in the masses, wouldn't buy because it's just too risky. And it all comes back down to risk. You know, risk is a huge factor of everything.
You're right. And I think this is the biggest thing that we could both agree is that you're not going to become a millionaire holding the first top 10 cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
You're not.
No.
Unless you have a huge capital. You have to have millions in order to become a millionaire buying the top cryptos.
Yeah.
Unless ADA goes to, you know, insane numbers like 100 plus.
Yeah.
But most of these cryptos, you really won't become a millionaire off a couple grand. You have to put in like maybe 100 to 200,000 plus minimum. And that means you have to be doing really good in your other businesses or whatever the case is. So that's why for me personally, I like the high risk, high reward. I would rather take the risk knowing that there's a possibility of a chance that I will make money off of this project, and I'm okay with it going to zero. But that's why you also have to diversify. Put money in your savings, you know, do the traditional stock, you know, gold. I like gold, so I buy gold here and there. You know, buy watches that appreciate, cars, art, you know, do whatever you enjoy. Have different risk to reward factors, but in my opinion, I don't think you'll become a millionaire off the top 10 coins. You have to go ahead and go into the riskier assets, and ask any business owner in real life. Ask them if their business was risky at all. And they'll all tell you almost 100% yes.
Everything's
It took years. It took a lot of sacrifice. And most importantly, it took a high risk, knowing that they could have made it or they couldn't make it in the industry through a pandemic, whatever the case is, shortage. There's a lot of factors. So I think even starting your own business is a high risk. And to even start a business, the capital is very big as well. So your only bet is risking it into altcoins, and you have a high chance of putting $1,000 or even up to 10 grand and becoming a millionaire off of that instead of running a whole business. It takes at least a restaurant over.
It all depends on what like you want from it, right? If you like us, we want the money quicker. We're willing to take that higher risk to get that, and you know, most people aren't going to be like that because, like I said, we're pretty much crypto veterans. We've been fucking liquidated. We've been drained. We've lost it all many times, and you know, so many times I can't even fucking count anymore. And it's all the learning process in my head. But how I say it, how I want to say it, and I might fuck it up a bit, but everything in life is a risk. Every day you wake up is a risk. Everything. You could die the next day. You don't know. Every time you walk down the street is a risk. And I don't want to say this to get you like hyper, like fucking protective of yourself. You know, you're walking down the street thinking that you're going to die. You know, I don't want that. But
it's a reality.
Not every day is guaranteed. Not every day is guaranteed. So make the most of every day. And, you know, that's kind of where our risk tolerance is, where we're like, fuck it. I
also want to mention, though, let's be honest, though. If you're not in the space in crypto for financial freedom, what are you doing in the space? I'm sure there's a good amount of people that are doing it for financial freedom. I'm doing it for financial freedom. Like, I need to at least make millions of dollars plus. I'm talking about 10 million plus.
Well, that goes into kind of crypto still being new, right?
Right.
So we're investing in a new market.
Of course.
And that's the biggest risk of it all, because tomorrow the U.S. could be no more crypto. in the U.S.
True,
and
but it's
you
not
can't
gonna.
use
Well,
it.
you and I know it's not gonna happen.
But let's just say, right, hypothetical scenario for the podcast, right? U.S. bans crypto tomorrow. We're fucked.
Yes and no.
Yes and no, but we're fucked in terms of
no, because
US.
DeFi is still big, and there's other countries
No,
that are
for sure.
accepting crypto.
For sure. But
the US
I'm
is
just saying
behind.
the value of crypto would drop dramatically because the amount of people that wouldn't know how to work different things to be able to still trade crypto, and that's honestly going into more illegal actions. But so we're not going to explain it here. But like the people who wouldn't take that effort to go and make sure that, I want to trade crypto in Argentina, whatever, wherever it is, they wouldn't make that. So most people would just kind of sell out and be like, all right, I'm sticking to the stock market or Forex or whatever, and the value of crypto would significantly drop as a whole.
I agree with you. I agree to disagree. So I agree with everything that you say. But in my opinion, what I think would be one of the biggest problems one of the countries could do would be the U.S. not adopting crypto. Every country that we're against with and we're enemies with are using this technology, whether it's
Japan.
artificial intelligence, whether it is blockchain, they're using it.
Japan is using a digital yen now.
Yeah, so that's China.
No, that's
China
Japan.
as well.
China's doing it too?
China and Japan is doing it. I know Japan now accepts like cryptocurrencies.
Yeah,
you can go there and buy cryptocurrencies.
I mean,
it's all of Asia, bro, and they're like the ones in the top of the line.
I want to give credit to the gas stations of the U.S. with the little Bitcoin ATMs.
Yeah, I agree.
That shit always gets me like laughing as soon as I
overpriced.
walk in. I see buy cryptocurrency just like that, Bitcoin ATM. It's like, what the fuck? So gas stations keeping it on lock for us, man.
But it's actually more of a hassle than opening.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But
I've opened up a few accounts, man. It's a hassle. It's better to open it through Coinbase. I mean, they still require KYC anyways.
I have a Coinbase.
I don't like Coinbase, but
I like their card.
But
I haven't been using it.
I don't like Coinbase, but I do recommend anybody that's getting into crypto to learn. That's a good deal. But if you're trying to go ahead and make a lot of money, you're not gonna do it on Coinbase, man.
Nope.
You're not gonna do it on these top exchanges. These exchanges, you're gonna make some money, but you're not gonna make crazy money. You make money in DeFi. It's like when you invest into like the early Apple or Amazon.
Yeah.
The early investors, the early and dude, you know what? Before I forget,
it's like the OTC market of the stock market.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What happens to venture capitals? Venture capitals invest in projects and ideas,
investors,
knowing that 20 to 30 of their projects they invested are going to fail. Out of those 30, only 5 of them are going to be successful. Out of those 5, maybe 3 of them are going to be break even, and out of 2 of those, maybe even 1 is going to be a hit run. Well, and they know that. They know the risk, and that's why they get the huge reward.
Well, I can vouch for that because I was talking to one of the angel investors that lives around here, and he said pretty much he writes off the money as soon as he gives it out. Like, it's already gone. Like, I'm not going to make anything from this money. He writes it off.
It's like a gamble.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not going to see anything. He's like, I don't see any return as soon as I send that money. If it gets me a return, great, but all I'm doing is helping these businesses try and make something of theirs. And if, something happens with it, I get money. And obviously he doesn't want to lose money. No one wants to lose.
Does.
No one wants to lose money.
But you know what's the benefit of that?
What?
Tax write-offs.
Tax write-offs. And you don't really, if you train yourself not to really
be
care and not be emotional to certain things, and you're just kind of like, I know one of these is going to be a big break. That's all it takes. You need that one.
Exactly.
If you go to Mark Cuban, he'll say, it took me hundreds of investments to get to where I am.
Exactly, man. And this is what people need to understand about Web3, man. It's not a get rich quick. Yes, you have a high opportunity because it's a newer market, but that comes with a higher risk.
Yeah.
And I think that if we all come in with the mentality of like, let's work our regular W2, or sorry, well, that too. W2 jobs or businesses in Web2 and have different sides, like let's say save 10% of your income and then invest into risky assets like crypto, 5% or 30% of your income, but just keep it as if you're going to the casino. If you go to the casino, you're going in with the mentality that you're going to lose everything. I hope everybody does go with that. Because when I go to the casino or I do anything like that, I go with, even when I go to trading now, when I trade.
Move your knee. You're pushing the desk, so
bad.
it's getting into the mic.
My
Sorry,
bad.
sorry for that.
So when it comes to like even trading in general, when it comes to investing in these coins, I go in with the capital. If I put in $1,000, $2,000, or $300,
yeah,
I go with the capital that money's gone.
Yeah,
I'm not thinking of, oh, with this money I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna buy a car. I'm gonna buy a yacht. I'm gonna buy a house. This is gonna help me pay my rent, my bills. You want to go with the mentality of like, if I make it, I make it. But you want to go with the mentality of if I lose it, it's fine because I still have money in the back end saved.
I actually want to kind of go through my thought process before I bought the Asset Dash NFT Vanta. So pretty much, so I had money for bills, right? I was like, all right, this is my money for the month for bills. This is gonna help me pay off some debt. Da da da. You know, you don't want to get too far into that, but like, I had this money and I was like, will I be fine if I invest this into something I have high conviction in? And the answer was yes. I can pay for it with the next paycheck. I'll still be good on my bills. You know, I was safe with it. And I went into the mindset of like, all right, next paycheck, I'm going to have to pay this much for my bills out of this paycheck.
Yeah.
I'm going to have this much to spend and, you know, work into my budget for this week. I already knew that I was going to have to take that money out from my next paycheck to be able to pay for my bills this month. And so I was good. And so like when I think I bought 6, it was like 38.40 Sol, like $1,000-ish almost, like 800. And fucking they ended up pumping. It worked out for me. But if that would have went to 0, yeah, I would have been hurt. But
let me ask you though, did you go with the mentality knowing that if it would have gotten to 0, you would have been okay?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I knew if this didn't work out or like I had to sell at a loss at least, I had money in the next paycheck to pay for what I needed to.
Exactly.
Right?
And I could say that to myself too similarly. I did that with a project. I got into 2 projects very late. One of them pumped. My homie benefited out of it. I didn't. I jumped into one of the projects that ended up being a rug pull. And
you told me about this.
Yeah, it was Pepe AI, and it was Deutsche Pepe. Like they were just greedy, dude. They could have really done very good with that project, but I got in that project knowing that in my head I was like I could make $5,000 out of this or $10,000, but also knowing that I would have lost all my money.
Yeah.
And I was taking the risk. I was like, you know what, man? Would I rather risk $500 and know I can make $5,000-$10,000 and I'll be set, or I just lose that $500 and I learn a new experience? Well, I'll tell you guys an experience I learned from there. Pink Cell has been a platform that you and I used.
Yeah.
It used to never be rug pulls or any of that. When we got in, we did really good.
Yeah, there were some rugs, but
well, yeah.
For the most part, our experience was not.
Yeah,
I never.
Towards my experience, I never had no issue with Pink Cell. Pink Cell does tell you that none of it like it's financial or some bullshit disclosure. Anyways, what I'm saying is that I jumped in with the confidence that last year when we jumped into a project, we pretty much
Girl?
Yeah, we literally like 20-30x.
Fucking made so much money.
I wish I should have sold on that project.
I made so much money off of. This is funny. This will get into kind of my transition into NFTs. Remember Magic Craft?
Yeah.
From that YouTube, I forgot his name, but that YouTuber.
Stock Guru.
Yeah, fucking Stock Guru made a meme coin or a play to earn game off of a meme coin on BNB.
It's called MCRT.
Yeah, I'm surprised you remember that. And that video did really well on Lux Fiat. It got like 3,000 views or something. Really good. One of our best performing videos. But anyways, I put $300 into that, made 3.3K. And then from that, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to NFTs because that's when I started getting into that. And I'm into Crypto Chronics, which don't buy them. They're a fucking rug. Fuck that team. And, and then that turned into Solana Monkey Rejects, which I then sold.
I made a lot of money on that too, bro.
Dude, I made the most.
You.
I made the most though. Not to like compare, but bro, I sold that one rank 18 for 4.4 thousand. I bought 5.
So I bought like, I think 10. or some shit like that.
I think, yeah, it was like we were similar in how many we
I
got.
bought like a good amount.
Oh no, because you had an investor getting in on it too.
I got like probably 10 out of the rejects, and that was like my first NFT that this guy made me money on. And
That's your PFP on YouTube.
And I think I invested, no more, honestly, like no more than $300 at the max.
Yeah, and this was back when Solana was still like $150, $170.
Because how much were they going for? Like, if
8 Sol was their all-time high.
Was that like?
So that was like $800 a NFT. That's like how much a Vanta NFT is. So right now.
They launched at 100, huh?
I think so. They were like 1 Sol.
I don't remember, guys, but
yeah, it was a long time ago. It was like two years ago.
I think I probably
or last February.
I might have invested less than if it was 100, but I remember I had a good amount. I probably had at least like 5, a little bit over 5. So I must have invested like $500 or $600. I did make some money out of it. For sure, doubled my investment, probably even more, but I didn't sell right away. But when I needed the money, I was able to sell and still profit. And that was like what really I'm like, dude, this guy's really good at NFTs, man. This guy's made so much money into NFTs.
When I put effort into actually finding trades and like actively trading NFTs, I actually do really well. But recently I've just been kind of dormant and just holding stuff, like don't really care. Here's like what we were talking about, like if this money goes, whatever. Like I spent 50 Sol on winos and that shit is now like 7 Sol. I lost 43 Sol on that. Do I care? No.
Yeah. But that's good though. You have to, because like people go with the mentality. I was like literally like watching this YouTuber that I watch, and his name is Sammy Loyal. Shout out to him. But he's one of my favorite like TA guys, and he was talking about like some IQ chart, talking about like what successful people, like traders at least, look like. And usually the ones with the higher IQ do the worst because they overthink shit. They overthink about so like, oh, what if this project does this? What if it doesn't go the way that I want it to? Da-da-da-da-da. And then the person that doesn't overthink it and just says, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to buy it, dude.
YOLO
DJ,
motherfucker.
Straight DJ. I'm going to YOLO it. If I lose my house, it is what it is, man. And
don't sell your house.
Yeah, don't do that. But those are usually the ones that are the most successful because they don't overthink it. They're just like, I believe in my process. I trust in myself. And I know what I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and do it. And let me not second guess myself. Yeah. And that's why they're the most successful. And I think that's in every business, man. Honestly. Yeah, you talk to a lot of business people and you're like, dude, I don't know how this guy's so successful. And it's sometimes like little things like their drive. Maybe they're really good at talking to people. Maybe they have different qualities. But they're not always the smartest, man. Yeah. Not always the smartest. No. I can't tell you I've met a business person that's like super smart, like coder, a genius.
Besides,
genius.
Unless it was Elon Musk, but like,
yeah, that guy's something else. that guy's his own breed, man.
Like those are the top business people, like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. Those are smart ass people.
Those are the elitists.
Those are some smart people.
He has a lot of kids, man.
Who?
Elon Musk.
Does he?
Yes, man.
What?
He has.
I thought he only has 1.
No, he has like at least 3 or 4.
You're tripping.
I swear, dude. Look it up, man. He at least has like 3 or 4, and I wonder what they're gonna create, man. It's pretty interesting.
Smart kids already. I can probably imagine.
Dude.
Plus, with all of his money, that's some good education, bro.
High IQ right there.
Shit.
High IQ.
Nah, but I mean, we can kind of wrap it up with like, just remember, always be safe in your trades. Realize that it's always going to be a risk, and if you go into
life's a risk.
Everything, and if you go into it knowing like, hey, I could lose all this money, then obviously it still hurts when you lose a lot of money or any amount of money, even if it's $20. I still get hurt at a $20 loss sometimes. I'm like, fuck, that was like $20. I could have used that for whatever, whatever. Like it hurts, but like at the end of the day, there's nothing you could do about it. You just learn.
You learn.
Like what happened in that process, and what can you take away from it to learn from it? That's kind of how you should be looking at your trades. Don't look at it as like, oh, I failed in this trade. No, you learned something. Try and focus on that. Try and focus on what you learned. It's the saying, man. Turning a negative into a positive. You got to turn that negative into a positive and learn from it.
Exactly.
So that you don't make that same mistake.
Exactly.
That's why I say as soon as something hits like 2 to 3x now, I'm taking a little bit of profit.
Yeah,
I won't take all profit, but I'll take a little bit of profit. Or if something pumps and I can take out my initial investment, I'm immediately taking out that initial investment, no matter how fucking much it is.
And you know what you're saying, man? It's very important. And I know we've gone very deep onto this podcast. And I hope that the people are watching do listen to this, but I'm going to go ahead and end it up with this. What Billy said is very important. You have to go in with a mindset like you're investing into education. You go into college, you go into a business, not knowing whether that sector is going to be successful. There's a lot of people that go to their degrees, don't ever use them, become successful in maybe NFT trading, and or something else or another business, but they at least acquire the knowledge and the experience in most cases. But just take it in as if when you're doing whatever NFT trading, leverage trading, whatever the case it is that you're doing in the Web3 or any sector in life, and you're putting in money, just look at it as a form of education. Why are people okay with paying 60 to 100K in debt in college, but they're not okay with risking $1,000 into trading and learning from the experience? I've lost a lot of money. I also made a lot of money. But I could definitely say that I had some very huge losses that affected my life, and you've seen it. Yeah. You've seen it, definitely.
Yeah.
Someone's calling me. I'll go ahead and call them. But we both had ups and downs. I had a lot of ups and downs in my life. But one thing that I could definitely go ahead and tell you is that I made a lot of money, but I also lost a lot of money. But I've also acquired a lot of experience and knowledge. And I could lose the money, but my knowledge is still there. And I'm still being able to use that. And that's what I agree with you, bro. That's really massive.
This will end off the podcast. I know we said that 3 different times, but literally after I say this, I will stop recording. Before I get into it, thank you guys for watching. Decentralized Discussions every Sunday at 12 p.m. PST. Tune in every week. We're going to be here. It may not be in person all the time. We might have, schedules are weird with Web 2. We're going to try our best to make it every time, but if it doesn't happen, it might be on Discord. But besides that, dude, I honestly forgot my thought, and that's annoying. Fuck. But no, just be safe and, be smart. And, I remembered it. We wouldn't be able to talk about what we're talking about now and in such detailed discussion for an hour long if we didn't learn something from losing money, from an experience, from something that happened. So that's all I want to say.
Actually, before you cut it off, man, this is going to be the last time.
Okay.
What he mentioned is, look at it this way. Our platform is, if you guys are not willing to take the risk, I'm a risk taker. I take risk on everything. I would rather fail, but know that I tried. But look at it this way. Our platform is one of those platforms that we're willing to take the risk. And if you're not a risk taker, at least learn from our experience. Exactly. That's what I could go ahead and leave it off. We're the ones paying the pain, the money, losing everything to go ahead and educate not only ourselves, but to educate the whole entire community. So if you are not a risk taker, that's not a problem. That's okay. But listen to people that are willing to take the risk and have the experience and have the knowledge. That way so you won't make the same mistakes. I'll leave everybody on with that one. Catch everyone into the next one.
Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us how you feel down in the comments. Turn on that notification bell. And we'll see you guys next week, Sunday, 12 p.m. PST.
Let's go.